Saturday again. So, I'm Abigail. For those that don't know me, I run a group on Facebook called Perth WA Psychic Tarot. And for those that do know me, hi, thank you for coming back. Okay, so what I've been asked to talk about this week, so I'm going off what people send me or ask me to speak about, and that's some of the terminology that's used within um, the psychic world. And the problem is the dictionary meaning or isn't always how it's actually urbanly used or how it's used as a person tries to explain who they are. So you've got psychic, channel, medium, clairvoyant, clairaudient. There's all these different words, and they don't quite match up with a dictionary meaning of what that word means, because it's become almost like an urban language within the psychic or spiritual community. So the word I want to address today is spiritual. Now, spiritual, you can be spiritual and religious, and you can be spiritual and non-religious. Because spiritual is the connection between you, the deity, the universe, the earth, and your own internal spirit. So it's not about talking to other spirits or talking to people that passed on. This is about your spirituality, is your connection between you, your spirit, and your belief system. So, for example, my grandmother was extremely spiritual, but she was also extremely religious. She was Church of England. My great grandmother, extremely spiritual person, but Catholic. Myself, I'm an extremely spiritual person, but I'm a pagan. So often we won't describe, as psychics, we don't describe ourselves by our belief system. We describe ourselves by our gifts, by what we're offering and what we can see, or how we can help people, whether we're a healer or we can see into the future or we can see spirits. So your spirituality is very internalized. It's you connecting with the essence of who you are, that bit that makes you you, that bit that makes you an individual. And it's about that journey that you as an individual go on to find your meaning of life, to find out what resonates with you. So some people, that resonation will fit in with a religion, and they are just as spiritual as someone else following a spiritual path, but they found that their soul not only can relate to themselves, but can also relate to a religion. Now, religions have come about by the fact that a lot of people have followed a spiritual path and have come up with the same answers, and so they collectively have got together, and from it religion has formed, because what the person is preaching or telling makes sense. It talks to the essence of who you are. So a lot of religions will resonate with all of us on some level, because one or 2 points might be right. Where you've become a spiritual person without religion is when you just don't fit in the box that the religion would expect you to. Many years ago, my work as a healer was seen as appropriate by a church group, and they asked me if I would come in and do healing at their gatherings, but it was on condition I did not let them know that I was a tarot reader, but I did not let them know that I could see into the future. So for me to be included within their religious group meant I had to deny part of who I was and what I was, and I opted not to do that. Being spiritual does not mean you're going to see spirits. It does not mean you're going to be able to speak to dead people. It doesn't even mean you're going to be able to speak to your guides. What it is about your internal quest for the meaning of life, for your soul to grow within your human body and to find the answers that sit well with you, that resonate with you, that bring you an internal feeling of belonging and joy. Some people it will be a deity, and I use the deity because the deities have lots of different names. Or it will be the universe. With some cultures it's the earth, but it is essentially all the same in the fact we're looking into ourselves, we're connecting with who we are to find a spiritual truth that resonates with us. And often once we start to find this in ourselves, we put out a certain light and it attracts those that have similar belief systems to us. So personally, I identify as a pagan, even though I had a very Christian upbringing with the influence of my grandmother and my great-grandmother. I still, to a certain degree, do follow Christian path in the fact that do not kill, do not lie, respect each other. So I don't see myself as a Christian, but it doesn't mean that a lot of my actions, behaviours aren't Christian based in how I do it. So your spirituality is an internal quest for the meaning of life. And that's more how it's seen these days within circles that do go on this spiritual quest. Our spirituality can be linked into our gifts, but it also cannot be. Being a pagan doesn't make me a better or worse tarot reader. I was a tarot reader long before I found a belief system that resonated 80% with me. So that's something to take into account. Following a spiritual path or developing psychic gifts does not lead to Wicca. It does not lead to witchcraft. It leads to what is right for you, and it may lead you straight into a church or a synagogue or a temple. And if that's your truth, then it's right for you. So, yeah. Right, that's all I wanted to cover this week. I know it's a bit short and sweet. But thank you for joining me again. Next week I will be covering healing. And I'll be doing a little extra one just before we start the Akea workshops, which are coming up in August, just to give you a little insight into what Akea is, what it does, and what people get out of it. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you next week. Thanks, guys. Bye.